Hello there, THL. Welcome to Salty Saturday. We are back again with two awesome matches tonight, and I am Donde. Glad to be here with you all. And joining me is Dano, my future THL opponent, in the near future, that is. Dano, how are you this evening?
I'm doing very well, very well. I'm very excited about our upcoming match. I think I have something super tasty and fun for you. So
Nice.
hope you look forward to that. Yeah.
That is not streamed, by the way, which might be for better or worse, who will know. But the matches we do have streamed tonight should both be great. So we're going to be leading off this evening with a pro match between Dabs of the Menagerie and Markshire of A.E.O.N. That's, of course, a conquest match, and that's going to be open list, so we will have the information available for you all, which you're welcome to take a look at the pro matchup on our website, teamhearthlegends.com. And our second match of the evening is Anfal of NAS-Dormu versus bitbeaker of NoProsHere, and that will be a hero match, so we will get a little conquest and a little last hero standing in the second half of the evening. But our first match, let's talk about that one first. We know what the bans are because we see them on the website. Thank you, open lists. Dabs will not be playing as Priest this evening. Markshire will not be playing as Mage. So just looking at the spread here, we got Druid, Warlock, Warrior versus Hunter, Rogue, Warrior. Not a lot in common. What are you thinking about here, Dano? What do you like to see in this matchup?
I think the Hunter is going to be key, right? So getting that right in the queue order, if he can catch anything but the Warrior, it should be almost a guaranteed win, I would expect. And I kind of expect the Rogue to struggle a little bit. I know that Rogue is, can be unbeatable because 7 free cards is really, really good. But I don't necessarily think Rogue lines up real great against this lineup.
Yeah, just let's talk specifically about the lineups a little bit more because we do have the advantage of the deck lists here. So looking first at, let's see, this is Dabs, I believe I just pulled up. We're going to be seeing the Hunter, Mage, Rogue, Warrior. So that's Dabs. Obviously, we won't see the Mage, so the Warrior is going to be the Galakron Warrior with the Risky Skipper, that newer style, very aggressive Warrior. Hunter is the Dragon Hunter, tops out at Rottnest Drake and Leroy, and then Rogue will be your standard Galakron Rogue, nothing too different there other than the escaped Mana Saber that has entered into a lot of lists since that has been released in the solo content. So nothing too crazy in the list there, pretty much what you would see on ladder. I don't even really see any text in here that I would consider to be like game-changing or anything like that, but sometimes that's all you need is just nice steady lists that are proven.
It's it's the best decks, right? I mean, you're bringing in the best Warrior, the best Hunter, and the best Rogue. These are your 3 best decks on ladder, more or less. And I think that in Conquest, that's kind of what you want to do sometimes. You just want to bring your best
Absolutely.
decks because it's really hard to kind of plan for your opponent. So, and in a one-off like weekly series like this, you don't get a chance to really kind of say, okay, I think we'll have 70% of people are going to be bringing X or Y. You have to really try to guess what your opponent's going to bring, and so bringing just what you think the best decks are is oftentimes going to be your the best thing you can do.
Absolutely. I apologize. That was Markshire's decks. I said Dabs, meant Markshire. Teammate, by the way. I should know these things, but just didn't want to confuse everyone. So, talking about Dabs decks real quick, we've got the Warlock it's more of the hand style Galakron Warlock. No, it's not really. It doesn't have like Mountain Giant or anything. So I guess it's just your standard Galakron. Tops out Dragon Queen, Alexstrasza, and Alex as well. Priest, which we will not see, was the non-quest version of Resurrect. Same exact Warrior, so it's a total mirror there. And then the Druid is a quest Druid, and it's got Floop's Glorious Gloop in there, which I think is an interesting pick.
Yeah, so the Floop's Glorious Gloop, there are 2 different quest Druids kind of floating around, at least on VS Data Reaper, and this is one of the 2 that they're listing. It's just this is a little bit more kind of aggressive with the Power of the Wild and kind of like almost tokeny sometimes with the bees in there, which I think is really interesting and an interesting pick. It's not necessarily, I like it. It's aggressive. I like aggressive, so it's pretty good. And then the Warlock is just no hand lock, right? So it's just classic no hand lock with just 1 copy of Bad Luck Albatross instead of 2. So what did he add to this then? Oh, so he has. It's interesting. So I'll look through the list. So the lists I've been seeing have been having double copy of Bad Luck Albatross, but I could be a little bit behind. Oh, Fiendish Rite. So I have a copy of Fiendish Rite as well. So that's a little bit different, I think.
Yeah.
So again, a little bit wider, I think. So okay.
Yeah, Fiendish does seem like one of those flex spots that you can absolutely remove for something else if you'd like. That's totally fine. I think to only have one of those. But yeah, I think we're gonna let these players know to get ready if they haven't already gotten into the challenge screen. Nothing they got to do for bans. We already know them, so we'll let them go and we'll get you in game here. When you guys see the screen, you'll have it'll be Markshire on top and Dabs on the bottom. So just be prepared for that as we enter the game here. And it should also be mentioned, this is still pretty early on in this matchup. It's an 8-3 lead right now for A.E.O.N. So can effectively, if Markshire wins with enough gusto here tonight, it can seal the week up for A.E.O.N. with points still to spare in this matchup.
Yeah, it seems like it's almost must-win territory for the Menagerie to get back into this one. So the loss here by Dabs might just kind of more or less seal it. Just kind of looking at where they're at in the series right now. So, and I have to imagine this is the pro season's pretty long, but Menagerie's in a spot where they start falling behind the leaders here. So I imagine they really want to kind of catch back up here.
Yeah, they are right on the cusp. If the playoffs were to happen today, they would be that odd team out in the 5th slot, which is just 1 point behind where Tap Last is right now, or I should say right now at the start of the week, 109 to 110. So there's still, like you said, there's still time, a couple weeks left, but you definitely don't want to take a big loss and fall behind, especially when there are plenty of competitive teams right on your own heels as well.
Yeah, pro is a little bit nutty. I remember at the beginning of the season, it seemed like there was going to be a couple really, really good teams in pro, some teams that struggled, and then kind of everybody else, but it really has turned into just a lot of really good teams kind of duking it out, and it's been really kind of fun to watch. So pro's been maybe one of the more interesting series, I think, this season.
Yeah, one thing we have been talking about, we talk about this on Heart Center as well, is that pro has really kind of blossomed into a great thing. This season has really taken off in terms of popularity.
Yeah, it looks like a ton of fun, and I kind of regret not playing in it, and then at the same time, like Marty and 2, I'm barely hanging on there, so probably for the best, but it looks like it's been an absolute ton of fun for sure. Good
news is there's always a new season right around the corner.
I know. We just have all the... You probably get the new expansion stuff coming out pretty quick here. I'm not even prepared yet. It's been such a crazy past month of Hearthstone. So
here we go. We are getting into the game here. Game 1 is going to feature Dabs on the Warrior and Markshire on his Hunter. So as we said before, it's the aggressive Galakron Warrior versus the Dragon Hunter. And we see, I think we jumped in before the mulligan completed here. Markshire is still looking at his cards, double tracking in hand. I would expect this to just be a full toss, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you don't want to keep any of this unless you're thinking. I mean, now I don't think you even keep the free 3/3 there, the frenzy 4-drop, because you have nothing else to pair with it.
Exactly. So, I think that's the only argument you could make, and he's going to make that argument, and he gets pretty fortunate picking up the Blazing Battle Mage. Yeah, I would say if you had the Blazing Battle Mage in hand, I would have been totally fine with that keep, but hey, risky keep pays off in this case, and Dabs does not have a turn 1 play. But he does have Armor Smith and Awaken, so he's got a couple little synergistic cards, plus that Battle Rage pickup that you see there.
Yeah, the Battle Rage I know has been a little bit interesting this, the past couple weeks past week on Twitter, and I think everyone's kind of come to terms with that. Yes, Battle Rage is probably the worst card in the deck, but there is nothing better to put in the deck. With one Battle Rage.
Yeah, there have been some decisions, not some decisions, some debate over what would be a good replacement for it. But yeah, I don't know at this point. I think the jury's still out, and I think we get the Blazing Battle Mage down. That's a pretty obvious turn 1 here for Markshire. Do you risk putting the Armor Smith down right now if you're Dabs and potentially get very limited value out of it?
I think you have to, right? Because you can't. I don't think you're playing for value. You just have to. You have to try and play for tempo, and whatever you can get in the board, you get out there. Because if you let the Dragon Warrior just kind of control the board, you're just going to get crushed. So
absolutely.
And with Awaken next turn with the Armor Smith down, you can tap in, you can tap with your face. So there's options there. Depending on what he wants to do with the board, we see it's going to get kind of brutal here, but.
And that Armorsmith does indeed come down, and we see an option here to get that free Frenzied Feywing out. Say that 3 times fast. Free Frenzied Feywing. I can't even say it twice. So yeah, if he wants to go face with the 2-2 and then try to hero power, he can get it out there. But then that does kind of give Dabs the option to play around a little bit with the Armorsmith.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, right? If he wants to go just like super aggressive, or he decides to try to clear the board with the Armorsmith. And I
think you could make an argument for Scale Rider here, honestly. Coin out Scale Rider, take out the Armorsmith. Nope, he's going to go full Corrosive Breath on it.
He's going to point out the Frenzy then? Yep, that's what it's doing.
I like that. Right. That's not a bad decision at all. You still get the same amount of stats down instead of using the Scale Rider.
But then we do get a clear here with the Awaken Double Battle Rage in this deck. I didn't even pay attention to that. Okay.
And unfortunate that you have both of them in hand. Not really the card you want to see at this stage of the game. And it looks like Awaken is probably... I guess you could argue Bomb Wrangler instead of Awaken, but Awaken does immediately let you clear everything this turn.
It does. Bomb Wrangler would give you an opportunity in a turn or two, but I just don't think you can risk it, which is a tough place to be in as the Warrior, because you do want to be playing on the front foot against basically everybody. So, but not a lot of great options here, though.
Yeah, Markshire's got essentially Scale Rider here on this turn, or he could go Dwarven Sharpshooter, Hero Power. I mean, you want to continue pushing damage as this yep. You know, this is an aggressive hunter here, so there's no real reason you'd want to just I don't think you'd want to play a tracking here if you can avoid it.
No way. No, I kind of like the Sharpshooter. Well, or tracking.
All right.
I think.
Never. What do I know?
I mean, I think it's the Fairy Dragon and just drop it, right? I mean, it stinks losing the Rot Nest, but...
Well, I think you can take the Rot Nest and drop the Scale Rider instead if you'd prefer.
It's true.
I see plenty of reasons on any of these here. I mean, Primordial gives you more gas, so I'm fine with that. Rot Nest obviously has a great effect, and he does choose to go with the Rot Nest. And, oh, I'm sorry, you couldn't get that Scale Rider down. That was 1 mana. For some reason, I thought we were on the 4 mana turn. It's hard to read sometimes.
Upside down.
Never mind. Your case for the Fairy Dragon makes a lot more sense now to me.
Yeah, I just think, why seed the board, but... You just drop your 4-drop, the Evasive Feywing. Nothing else really makes a lot of sense to me. You don't want to be wasting any of your mana here. As the Dragon Hunter, I think you just want to keep on spending all your mana. That's the best way to win games.
I think the one hesitance is if you play the Feywing, you no longer have the Scale Riders active, and the Rot Nest Drake is not active either. So your future turns do get significantly weaker. So something like Scale Rider plus your Dwarven Sharpshooter here could be
your Scale Riders are still active. It's just your Rot Nest isn't active anymore. Because Rot Nest is a dragon, so the Scale Riders are still...
Oh, yes, you're right. Man, I am really off tonight. I need to pick this up. I'm going to need to pick this up before we play, let alone, if I can't even understand what cards are doing.
No, don't do that at all. No, just right where we're at. This is perfect. Yeah, I like Acolyte Chopper. I kind of like that. Then you clear off the 3/3, maybe even tap into the 1/3 if you want. Or drop your 5-drop. I guess I didn't realize it was a 5-drop.
Yep.
Yeah, I think you
5-drop seems like the right move here because you're going to be able to clear the 3/3.
Yep, that's a no-brainer. I was not looking at all the cards that were available. And those Battle Rage just rotting in hand right now, too.
And now Dabs, a little bit of a heads up here. He's going to go ahead and trade into the 1/3 to put 3 minions on board. Now, Rot Nest Drake, he knows that can be in hand, and that is the preferred turn 5 play of this deck. And it is no longer a guarantee to hit anything really of value. It might just hit that Boombot and just cause all sorts of havoc.
Yeah, that was a really, really heads-up play by Dabs right there for sure, because it just puts him in a real tough spot. I'm sorry, by Markshire. Heads up play by Markshire. Oh, no, Dabs. I had it right. Okay. Okay, we're both going to have a great match.
So I can't read the cards. You can't read the players right now. So, but combined between the two of us, we have one very strong caster, and what a pull!
Oh!
The 1 out of 3 chance he gets exactly what he's looking for.
Oh, low roll on the Boombot, but still, that's a good place to be.
Yeah, that's much better than he could have been, and yeah, this now allows the boomerang or bomb wrangler to go ahead and trade pretty easily here. You know, let's grab 2 cards first and see where we end up. Scion of Ruin, pretty good pickup.
Really good pickup. I liked the. This is about as good as your battle rage is probably going to get too. So unless you can find Risky Skipper.
Yeah, Scion of Ruin is, I think, now the play. Allows you to get rid of that Drake, push a little damage, and have a pretty dominant board presence in comparison to where Markshire would like to be.
Yeah, and the nice part about, you know, the open deck list is you actually get to know, you know, did they tech a explosive track in there, and you know they did not. So you don't have to be worried about, you know, playing into explosive.
We'll see Scale Rider go ahead and remove the Bomb Wrangler, which means there's still as many minions on the board, and you know, it's a health advantage right now for Markshire, 28 to 17, but it does not feel like he is in strong control, especially with what he's got in hand right now.
Yeah, I don't even. Yeah, I would say definitely not. Got to be feeling in a kind of a tough spot because you just have completely lost kind of control of the board and the game to a certain extent. And if they're able to start clearing, you know, putting on acolytes and actually drawing cards at a decent clip, you're in a little bit of trouble. So.
And one thing this hunter does not do is draw cards. So what he's got is pretty much what he's working with here. You know, 1 card a turn for the rest of the game. He's got 1 more tracking in there, but that's, you know, that's not like pure card draw. Stormhammer's not a bad pull. This might be a face race at this point.
Yeah, I saw Dabs kind of hover over, kind of think about that. Did he want to swing with face or clear with the minion there? Decided to clear with the minion and armor up. Because he's probably thinking, okay, how close am I to dead?
Yeah, that's always something you have to be considerate of. You know, with this deck, it's got some burst potential, though we have already seen 1 Corrosive Breath, and you know, the Life Drinker in hand. There is a Leroy hanging out there as well, I believe.
Well, then you can never forget Mini Ragnaros in the Dragonbane too. So the nice part is he's going wide. Dap is going wide, which really helps. So. But he's always a worry that the Dragonbane goes face, and that just is kind of brutal sometimes. So
Markshire gets a little bit more damage. He's 13 now, and ooh, that's, you know, that's a strong pickup there. That makes this deck run a lot of the time. Halfway to any sort of you know, combo from hand at this point now with Bloodsworn Mercenary for Dabs.
Be curious to see how Dabs decides to order this. You tap the Boombot in first, see where it goes.
I think play Armor Smith would be first, just to see, you know, just to continue to get yourself out of range a little bit more than you are right now.
Yep. Nope.
Not gonna. Nope. He's gonna save all
Going
the mana.
for the card draw.
Inner Rage.
Oh, okay. So now he can. Curious to see, does he Inner Rage and then okay.
Oh, he's in a Bloodsworn Mercenary.
He's gonna really get a health up.
Oh, so much armor.
All the heal.
All the armor.
Yeah, that's thing you want to see.
That is, you know, when we talked about it at the beginning of the game, you know, saying, do we want to play the Armor Smith for value? This is what we're talking about. This is how you get value out of that card in this matchup right there. And that second Frenzied Fellwing is not a particularly strong card here for Markshire, and he's just going to be staring down lethal, I think.
Pretty close, yeah.
The Freezing Trap will help abate that a little.
Yeah, you have the Boombot though, unless you just goof up the ordering, probably be fine.
I mean, if he he's got options now. He can play he can attack with the Scion of Ruin first, then he would get, you know, 3 of those again if it's Freezing Trap. He could attack with the Fellsworn, or Bloodsworn Mercenary, I should say, and then he could go ahead and make another Armor Smith if he wants to. So there's all sorts of choices here for Dabs to see what he would like to test that trap with.
Burn them all.
Well, what's he got right now from hand? So if he actually plays Devoted Maniac and Chopper, that's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It's close.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. He has lethal either way. It didn't matter how he ordered it, as long as he either ordered the Boombot first or Maniac, I think, right?
Oh, yeah, because he had Devoted Maniac. Yeah, Devoted Maniac and Chopper gets him up to 6.
7, right? That would have been
7. No, 3
because
per.
the weapon chopper is a +1
Oh,
weapon.
yep.
So
No, you're right. So you're right.
That was mislethal, wasn't it?
That was mislethal.
Like count that wrong?
Nope, you were exactly correct. That would have been lethal. I mean, let's be honest. It probably is lethal next turn. Yeah. There's no Zephyrus that's coming through that door in Markshire's deck to win this game. So that is it, and that is game 1 for you. It goes to Dabs, a 1-0 lead as he gets through with the Galakron Warrior.
Gotta feel good about that. And that's just kind of where Galakron Warrior is at. It was a deck that was kind of left for dead, and then all of a sudden everyone was like, "Oh no, this is still really good."
Yeah, Risky Skipper does things, and we didn't even see it that game.
Yeah, right. Like your combo enabler.
And they are just ready to go. We're going right into game 2 here.
No
it's going to be
kidding.
Dabs' Warlock versus Markshire's Rogue. So we're not going to see a repeat deck for Markshire. And I think the Rogue is decent in this matchup, if I recall off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
And just as a reminder, we are in Conquest, so that means that you have to win with every deck in your lineup that is not banned. So Dabs can no longer play that Warrior. He will have to win with Druid and Warlock from here on out. And Markshire still has to pick up a win with all 3 decks.
Yeah, so VS has this unfavored for the Rogue.
Okay.
So.
I think it's not overwhelmingly so. Is that right?
Well, at the lower ranks it is. At all ranks, I can check out the. Let me look at the 1 to 4, where things get a little bit easier to figure out. Oh, and no stats for that at all. So, oh wait, here we go. Still unfavored. Unfavored. 44% win rate, which isn't the end of the world, but I'd like to see better, I would imagine. So,
well, I think just looking at what Dabs has got in his opening hand, I know he didn't have obviously a turn 1 play. It's not really something that typically happens in this deck, but he's got a lot of removal. He's got the Dark Skies. He's got Devoted Maniac. That's going to get him progressing the Galakron train as well. Markshire does have some options here with Pharaoh Cat. He's got Seal Fate. I always call it Seal of Fate. I know it's Seal Fate. So I can see this one kind of going either way. Dabs will just have to kind of marshal out those removal options here in the early going.
you call it Seal Fate. I call it 3 damage to face.
not with Life Tap, my friend. Not with
Life Tap. Nope.
Yeah, that's it. Could be 3 damage to Snip Snap on the next turn if that's how it goes for Dabs. It looks like that might be the best option for him at the moment.
Unless he's feeling saucy and just decides to tap again, which you could see. I think you hit a Snip Snap because it lines up so well against what's on board and it gets you a little bit of board presence. This is a deck that normally taps on 2 and 3. Yeah, I don't.
He's gonna tap anyway. Yep.
Yep.
I don't have a problem with that.
The Devoted Maniac next turn, and you have the clear in hand, and then you just picked up the sack pack there for heal. If I'm Dabs, I'm feeling in a pretty good place actually.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a context-based tap, and that's true. It works out based on the hand he's got. The one thing you're obviously worried about with Rogue is just high burst potential. It can come out of nowhere at times. You got Leroy Shadow Step as an option. You've got free or cheaper, cards from the deck with prep and whatnot, and of course Galakron. So let's see what Markshire has to do here with the Pharaoh Cat. He's got a Grand Mummy, it looks like.
And also a 4/2 heal one, whatever that one's called from Paladin.
The Ancestral Guardian.
There you go. I all cards for me are just whatever they do in context. I could not tell you what's in the card.
Of course.
Name. I know what they do and how much they cost.
Yep, cost and stats. Cost, stats, and text. Those are the 3 important things. That's what we care about the most.
And I think you just go ahead and start clearing this up a little bit and getting a little bit of board presence. Dabs is probably the only thing he's really I can't remember what Dabs is. Okay, they are probably looking for is the Plague of Flames in case Edwin comes down. That's they have no answer for Edwin right now. But if they can find Plague of I don't know that I would have Dark Skies.
Yeah, Dark Skies, it seems like that's a pretty low value board to want to go ahead and do that. It is a full clear with the Mortal Coil, as we see, which is the route that Dabs is choosing to take. But yeah, it seems like that's kind of a low value use of that Dark Skies.
That was not there to be it was just like 3 damage really on board. I mean, the Death Rattle on the Grand Mummy is kind of a pain in the neck, but not the end of the world. I thought you kind of lined up pretty good there with a 2/2 and and 2 1/1s on board, I thought would kind of be okay. It's all right.
You know, sometimes that's why we're sitting in the booth and we're not playing the game, right?
Yes, I think it's oftentimes why I'm sitting in the booth, not playing in the game.
And Shield the Galakron, perfect card for the 5th turn, of course, for Dabs. Let's see what that lackey, or no, it's not a lackey, it's the 2 demons that you
Not
get.
a lackey. 2 1/1s.
Rogue gets a lackey.
Yep. And I think at this point, with you have the 2 Veiled Worshippers, you're just trying to you want dump hand now. That's kind of gonna be a big part of moving forward.
Definitely.
Because you're gonna want to play those, and it's just you run into some real hand size issues if you get too greedy with your cards, which might have been what Dabs was thinking, which was I can get this card out of my hand, clear board, and then see where we're at on turn 5. So
right. And you've got Galakron in hand now, so you want to go ahead and churn through and find those remaining Galakron activators as basically as fast as you can. He's got Devoted Maniac for next turn as an option if he wants to do that plus tap, or Faceless Corruptor is going to maybe complicate things a little bit.
Yes, a little bit.
So right? I mean, I can see like a Devoted Maniac and Mortal Coil here.
You're fine. Yep. Or you could even trade in with your demon if you want, and the Devoted Maniac. There's definite clears to be had here. And you want to get that fully loaded Galakron up if you can against Rogue, because they just can't handle your wide board. So, I mean, getting those Galakron minions down, getting that as loaded as you can is going to be an important part of this game.
And there's that Plague of Flames.
Yeah,
very important card.
Yep. So Dab's in the driver's seat now, I would say. And I like Devoted Maniac and Mortal Coil here. Keep on drawing through your deck. Get that second tick on Galakron so your Veiled Worshippers are live. It seems pretty straightforward to me.
Worth mentioning, as you said, the Veiled Worshippers not yet live, as we've only had 1 Invoke, and that goes for Markshire as well. Only 1 Invoke on both sides here, and they're both holding Galakron, so you know they want to get there as fast as possible.
Yeah, if I'm Markshire, I'm probably less worried about getting a fully loaded Galakron than Dabs, just because if you can just anything cheap is going to be a win for you, and then the more lackeys, just make it as complicated as possible for Dabs to hold control of the board. It'd probably be my train of thought, at least. 2 free minions is really good. What do we have? His 1 more tick left before get 2 frees, and then 3 more. Ways to go there for a fully loaded Galakron.
Absolutely.
For Markshire.
And there is that hand dumping. We see the Sacrificial Pact used since you get the full value. And Dabs does manage to find another Invoke with that Mortal Coil.
Yeah, so a really good spot right now for Dabs, I think. Yeah, I probably just going to self coin, but saving it for this turn 6. Yep. Take your 3 free cards or next turn and see where you're at.
Yeah, I think it has to be the wand. It's by far the most powerful card of the 4. I mean, there are situational uses for the crown. I've never really seen too much use for either of the other 2 cards, honestly.
I'll be honest. One of them turns your hand into legendaries, and the other one does something else.
The other one makes you draw 1 card and you get not infinite, but hand-filling copies of it.
That's right.
And that surely can be fantastic. But if you truly want to roll the dice, that's the way to go. But the taunt could be a life-saving measure, of course, when you say I got to get a body down right now.
Yeah.
I need taunt. Okay, that's I can see that being a pick.
There we go. Turn away from a fully loaded Galakron. That's a good place to be. Kind of like, what do we have for hand size here? I'm just gonna.
This is gonna refill it up, so he's gonna have to play something else.
Like Cultist, I think probably.
So Nether Breath was picked up, but as we can see, there's still no dragon in hand, so it's not going to be able to kill the Togwaggle, and you don't really want to leave that Togwaggle up if you can avoid it, because Shadow Step's a thing, and we actually see that in Markshire's hand right now. Though at least he gets rid of the lackey to go ahead and minimize the chances that Togwaggle will be used for a 2nd straight turn.
Yep, and it's all upside down, so I don't think we do have the Shadow Step. I don't know if that's what I want to use it on, but
3 free cards are going to be
that's a good free
Shield
card.
the Galakron. Oh, and a free Edwin.
3 good free cards. Oh.
Those are 3 great free cards.
Do we have This is gonna get a little spicy.
This is going to be a big, big Edwin. And the unfortunate news for Markshire is that Plague of Flames is now in hand for Dab, so he has the counter.
Yep.
He's got plenty of ways to go ahead and put things on board to get rid of it. But boy, that is, Markshire's going to be salivating over how to play this this set of cards he just got.
Probably just a little salty. Doesn't have a single one drop to play though, right? So one less.
Oh, he will. He will now.
Oh, you're right. He will now because that's what.
And it's a Titanic Lackey, so he can keep that the Heist Baron alive if he wants to. Oh, he's gonna play the shield. Oh no, he's
okay.
Interesting. Corruptor. Oh, he's man. You gotta be playing fast. You gotta be playing fast right now. There it is. Look at that's a big boy right there. And so okay, so now here's your problem.
Oh, do you tap in there?
I think you probably try to clear the 1/1 to avoid Plague of Flames, but I mean we have the advantage of obviously seeing what's in the hand, and Markshire does not. So he's thinking, you know what, I can represent lethal right here and end this game. But the bad news is that this is about to get the full clear treatment.
Yep, and then there they go. Is he thinking about tapping first?
Might be thinking about tapping. I don't see any reason to get too creative with it here.
Just play your Plague of Flames. This is what it's in the deck for, I think.
Yeah, it's there for that Edwin. Or I mean, it's there for a lot of things, but in this matchup, Edwin for sure. And there goes the board. Markshire's sad boy right now.
With a tap last. I don't think it mattered in this instance. You only had one play.
Absolutely.
It didn't matter when you decided to tap.
The only way you were playing that card off the top of your deck is if it was the other Plague of Flames and you wanted to mess with your opponent.
Yes. Yes. Which was 100% the right play.
So now we've got likely the next two turns are going to be Galacrons on both sides of the aisle here.
It's about to get fun. It's about to get real fun. And now the best part is watching the Warlock Galacron go down, because it could be literally anything. It could just be absolute trash, or it could be just like some real great board.
You know, I was gonna say for me, it's always the absolute trash, and that's really not great.
It's garbage. It's complete garbage. Oh,
I mean, no. Fellord Betrug is not ideal, but it is not bad. But when it's paired up with those other two, or the other three, I should say, that is just not great.
Heartbreaking. No. Oh. And now hurt my soul.
Markshire can actually he can Galacron and sap that Betrug if he wants to, and create a little bit of chaos in the hand next turn. Because that will. Oh no, never mind. He's going to go ahead and get that sack backed out. Dabs will make sure that he doesn't get hosed by any sort of return to hand effects. And here comes Galacron Part 2.
Yes, get 4 free cards, because 3 free cards wasn't good enough.
You know, if you couldn't do it with 3 cards, I don't know, is 4 enough to swing this game back? 2 free Eviscerates. Where's Malagos?
Yeah. You're playing the wrong rogue.
Wrong kind of rogue.
You just did it all wrong.
And Mana Saber Miscreant here to see what we pick up off of the lackeys. A Titanic Lackey and a Faceless Lackey. Not bad at all. I think you probably want to see the Draconic there. I think would be the ideal.
Yes.
At this point, to try and give yourself as much gas as you can.
Yep. I think you play your Doomsayer Lackey to see what you get, and then, don't see really, unless he's thinking of, unless Markshire is trying to figure out if he wants to clear the Fell Lord, right?
I think you probably want to, just in case, it ends up being the next draw is something like Alexstrasza. Either of the Alexstrazzas.
Ooh, got Doomsayer Lackey played on the wrong side, but no punish, so.
And it's Plague of Flames, so it's not going to get an activation off of Fell Lord, which, is not too bad of a draw here.
How many saps have we seen? 0 saps?
We've seen 0 so far, just the one that's in hand at the moment.
Yeah, so like my first instinct is let's just make a big ol' snip snap Zilliax, but without a sap being played, don't know that it's really the way you want to go.
And I definitely see the argument for what Markshire did here because he's got the 2 free eviscerates in hand. You know, it's 8 damage plus the weapon is 13 right away. So if he can even stick a few of these minions, and he's got a stealth minion in the mana saber, there's a chance that he could possibly get enough sneaky damage if there's no heal. But Dabs is not going to be about that life. He's going to go ahead and heal right now.
I think I would have done that the other way around, though. I think I would have wanted to get the Ziliax back.
Yes, the Ziliax as the sap target for sure. I agree with that.
Because the way sap works, explain sap, I guess we can. It gives you whatever the first minion dropped was is what the one you get back. So order does kind of matter in that instance when you're playing against rogue. Doesn't really matter against anything else. So the flick. Don't know that necessarily helps. Probably just want to find Leroy at this point.
Here's the thing. You have Kronk's in hand now. You could go ahead and just blast out a bunch of damage. Sap. Yeah, sap plus 2/+2 is not terrible. Actually, is that lethal? 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 17 plus. It's exact lethal.
No way. I wasn't even looking for it. I didn't think there was a snowball's chance.
No, what do you do? That's not exactly lethal. That's 1 short. Oh, never mind. He's got Praise Galakron. That's exactly lethal again. This happened to me last week. I saw lethal, and I was so tunneled on that lethal that I was like, there is no way that any other play is correct, but there are sometimes multiple routes to lethal, which Markshire found his own style of lethal, and he will end up winning game 2.
Out of nowhere, because free cards are really good. Like, if you play 7 free cards, chances are you're going to find a way to kill your opponent. And Dabs has just got to feel like absolute garbage. It's just the worst feeling against Rogue. It's just like, you got the matchup you want. The game's going the way you want. You have a healthy life total, and then free cards kill you.
And that's really the thing there, is that he made the right decision. He made the right decision in the end of that game to heal where he could, and it still wasn't enough. I guess you could have nether breathed as well if you really wanted to, but how were you to know that you were about to get hit from 25 to 0 on that turn? I guess the only way you know is you played that matchup and it's happened to you before.
Yeah, and I like the queuing right back in with the Warlock. Because you have the heal to get through and the board clear to kind of keep them at bay.
And good start to the hand here for Dabs. He's going to keep the Nether Breath and Dark Skies. Obviously, very, very good cards in this matchup. When all you want to do is run your opponent out of juice, which the Hunter, as we saw in Game 1, it does get into that spot on a fairly quick basis. There's going to be probably at least I would say a full toss from Markshire here, which he does. He gets that Frenzied Fellwing right back, and does get a turn 1 play out of the deal at least. But man, Plague of Flames also comes to hand for Dabs.
Yeah, which if you want to have this is really unfavored actually. So for the Warlock, so I mean aggressively looking for board clear, I would imagine.
Absolutely, and I think you probably get 1 tap. I think you get 1 tap here on 2, and then you're probably done after that.
Yeah, it's a hard part about playing Warlock is because you want to find your way to win, but like their hero power does 2 damage to you, and your hero power does 2 damage to you, and by their powers combined, you're dead.
Yeah, that is a lot of damage very quick, and Markshire also has 2 corrosive breaths in hand too.
Nether Breath is live, so I feel comfortable tapping here, and then have a snowball's chance here actually, with how you might be able to curve out with coin in hand.
Yeah, a bit of a slow opener for Markshire, too. He would have loved to have an actual play on 2, but he's going to be able to get that Frenzied Fellwing down this turn and give him a little bit more board presence.
Yeah. Which then I imagine it will just be dead immediately this next turn.
Yeah, Dark Skies would be fine here. You can Nether Breath if you would rather do that. Yeah, I think either of those options are totally fine in this situation.
Yeah, I kind of like Nether Breaths. You don't feel like you have to hold on to the crazed Netherwing. If it goes active and you get a chance to clear with it, you don't want to question yourself about the Nether Breath. I think getting the heal in and getting the minion off board makes you feel good.
Plus, if he really wants to now, his next 2 turns could be Coin Shield into Shield.
I think that's definitely going to be your play. That'd be my play at least, or what I would want to do. Because
right, based on what we see it for a draw, of course. But that
Yeah.
I think right now, looking at what you've seen played, I think that's probably what if you're Dabs, you'd like to be doing the next 2 turns.
Yep. And I know it's off curve. I kind of like getting the poisonous minion down, because that does just make things a little bit more difficult for Dabs. Then again, Life Drinker uses all your mana, does damage to face, puts a 3/3 on board. Also good. Play a Snake Trap if you want. Hero Power face. Also fine. So
Yeah, I think I would go with the dragon here, honestly.
Yep.
Because that does make the Shield of Galakron play a little bit weaker.
Yep.
No, it's gonna be Life
The
Drinker.
mana.
He's going for the damage, and of course get all the play all your crystals, but at the same time that doesn't really set him up for any sort of success here going forward.
Yep, I think you go ahead and play the Shield of Galakron. I mean, we know it's dead as soon as it's played, but Dabs doesn't know that. So, which might have been the reason they held on to the dragon action. Now that I think about it, they had those double corrosive breath in hand. Did not want to spend that dragon. Though you discover a dragon, so I take that back. Never mind. Pretend I didn't say that.
Yes. See, you did what I did in game 1. That's okay. That's okay.
It's upside down. It makes it so complicated. Like, how many years have we had spectate? Let's fix spectate. Like, if that's the big thing that comes out of that, out of the whatever that meeting was out there in LA, was that they
Give
fixed
me
spectate.
flipped
I have-
cards.
Big things for Hearthstone in 2020.
Take away some deck slots. Give us flipped cards.
I would take it. I'm not even kidding.
So
I
the
mean-
Stormhammer there is drawn for Markshire. It's not a terrible draw. I still think you probably want to get the dragon down this turn, though.
Or, I mean, 3 to face, 5 to face this turn. Also not the end of the world. Between hero power and then the weapon.
Ooh, some endgame options. I think probably want to go with Ysera here.
Yeah. With your hand, you're not gonna. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think you're winning by the time you get to turn 9 at this point, based on the fact that the Warlock's only at 22 health, and you're already kind of running short on options here. So, yeah, I like grabbing Ysera. I mean, I guess you can make a case for Malagos, but nope, he's gonna go Fairy Dragon.
Yeah, because you can play Fairy Dragon next turn. It keeps your weapon active. I kind of like Bad Luck Albatross, really. Just contests, but it's dead to Corrosive Breath. So again, not great.
And Dabs might be just thinking, I haven't invoked it all this game. I gotta kind of get that train moving a little bit, and I'm okay with just losing the shield here if it eats the 2/3, which it will in this case. I guess it might not. I mean, we could see a Corrosive Breath plus Stormhammer.
Double Corrosive Breath.
Yeah, double if you really want to get tricky with it. You know, maybe double Corrosive Breath plus Snake Trap.
Power.
Or Hero Power, either or.
Getting that 2 damage, and press that magic button that wins you the game next to your face.
We have already seen one of the Nether Breaths, so that is one fewer healing card in the deck for Dabs. But yeah, no, that's there's a couple routes that Markshire could go here that I wouldn't consider to be necessarily right or wrong, I suppose.
Yeah, because that poison just makes things a little complicated, a little bit more difficult. I mean, it'll be dead next turn between Devoted and yeah. So just go ahead and trade in. Cool either way. Gonna clear the board with them. Don't hate that either.
So board cleared, damage faced.
Play Hero Power. Yeah.
I mean, you're committing. You're saying I'm going for it right now. Bad news is that Dabs has a second shield to go ahead and stop any Stormhammer direct damage.
Which you have to play. I feel this turn. Or you just go ahead and get to your.
I mean, it's definitely like a.
It contests the board.
It contests the board for sure. It's saying I don't believe you can kill me this turn. Your deck doesn't run any sort of other burst, kill command, or anything like that. We've seen one Life Drinker, so the likelihood of, I guess Leroy would be would be kind of a
Leroy
bad time here.
Or the extra, mini Ragnaros.
Ah, yes,
So.
of course.
I always gotta remember the mini Ragnaros and keep on punching face. There you go.
5 damage.
The magic button.
Oh no, make it 3 damage. Okay, so now he's, you know, the snake trap is like, I guess, a little bit of a bluff, right? Makes you not want to attack with the Kronks just in case it gets sent back to your hand. Obviously, you got no space right now for it too. So, that's kind of leveraging the class identity in the mind games here. I kind of like that.
I mean, but if you're at the same time, if you're the Warlock, you don't have to attack face. You just have to aggressively keep everything clear. And you have different ways to do that. Curious what the play is going to be.
So he coins out so that way if it is freezing trap, the Kronks comes back. I like that concept.
Yep.
Now he knows without a doubt that it is snake trap, since again perfect information, the decks are revealed. Shield of Galakron can come down pretty safely here. That's the second invoke now. And that's a lot of board.
It's a lot of board. Not a little board. It's a lot of board.
And not a great draw there for Markshire. He was looking for something that could continue to press the issue. That's not going to be it. So let's see. If he goes ahead and hits in here, he's going to drop to 20 damage, or 20 health rather, and that's just 17 on board on the backswing here. Basically, Markshire is at the point where he
8, 9,
needs
10,
to hope
11.
that he doesn't die and picks up some direct damage next turn.
I would say go ahead and use that Mortal Coil to try and find yourself a way to heal.
I would say, yeah, look for Nether Breath. Look for your second Nether Breath.
Yep.
You know, you can use one of the 1/1s to obviously soak the freezing trap that you know just got played, which means that 16 damage is getting home, and Nether Breath is a guaranteed lethal. I'm trying to think what other duplicate. There's probably more than enough duplicates in the deck that one draw is not going to make a Zephyrus lethal here.
You know, this is freezing.
Zephyrus active. It's freezing and snake trap. I mean, yeah, now you can clear the snake trap, but
I guess thinking that once Galakron's play is heal, I guess.
That's true, but if that other card in Markshire's hand is Leroy, or this next draw is Leroy, then you're just dead.
Unless you're playing Galakron and you're getting 5.
You got to heal now. You got to heal now. What are these two demons?
Oh, wow.
Aggressively mediocre, we'll call it.
I mean, we've seen worse. We saw worse last game.
Oh, we saw much, much worse. And 7 damage will get home. So now you're representing lethal yourself if you're Dabs. Markshire's pickup is interesting. It is playable, and it could get him the out he needs. Oh, we're probably going to have to grab Brightwing here and then continue to pray.
I got to play Brightwing because maybe it gives you Leroy.
Yeah, you're dead. Well, it might. And then you can't play it, so...
It's very true.
You're hoping for something with Taunt, and Emrys is big and not taunty.
Big and not taunty is right.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Just send them face 2-1. Dabs takes the lead again. And the Hunter is just struggling for Markshire at this point.
So it's a win with Warrior and a win with Warlock. Do I have that right?
You do have that right.
No. A win with... Got my notes confused here.
No, you're right. That's a win with Warrior and a win with Warlock for Dabs. So we're going to see the Druid guaranteed here into Markshire's either Hunter or Warrior as we move into Game 4. These guys, I love it. They take their times on the plays so we can discuss it, but they are immediately queuing, so there is no downtime between the games. They are all about the fans. They are all about the stream. I really appreciate that. It's going to be Quest Druid. It's going to be Dragon Hunter. Markshire is going to ride or die with this Hunter and say, you know what, I got to get it through eventually, so why not run it back to the third time?
I mean, I like the. I mean, it's probably the best matchup at this point as well. So, though,
yeah,
I think
very
this Hunter's
slow.
been favored a couple times. So,
And
got
Dabs,
that.
of course, will just go ahead and play the quest out. Steel Beetle is now active for him.
I know, right?
But
How lucky was that hidden oasis there?
yeah, I mean, you definitely don't want to play it next turn. Obviously, get you one step closer to finishing your quest. But yeah, that's 5 extra damage you can now handle. And if he wants to play Floop after it, that's 10 extra damage. Oh my god!
Oh
second
no!
Steel Beetle.
Look at that! Just all the armor.
My goodness.
You just end turn. You don't play it.
Yeah, no, you absolutely end turn, and then your next 3 turns could just be gain 15 armor. Which
I mean, we all played through the previous meta where that was just how Druid was played. It was, hey, look, I'm going to gain 30 armor now because why not? But
you might have just triggered chat. I don't know. We'll find out in 10 minutes, I guess.
Playing the freezing instead of just the hero power.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like you want to get all the damage down you can.
It's either that or coin out a primordial to get something on board. But he does have I think his plan is to coin out the Dragon Bane, get that online, and start causing some havoc here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows that there's ways for it to be removed, of course, but it is going to be a pain to do so. A Wrath could do it here. It's not going to be drawn. It's going to be Steel Beetle, the second edition.
Yep.
And you know what? You don't even mind attacking because guess what? You get a Steel Beetle back to your hand for a third.
I know, right? It's like thank you for that. Thank you for that other Steel Beetle.
5 more armor, please.
Really can use that.
So you've got the full option here of let's you can go ahead and put down the sharpshooter, or you can corrosive breath if you'd rather do that. There are definitely
corrosive breath and hero power is a lot of damage to face, right?
It is. We know that if you're Markshire, you know there's another Steel Beetle in hand, of course.
Yep. But can't let's playable this turn, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah, you gotta start getting the damage in there.
Oh, got him back to 30. Oh, there we go. Damaged.
Big draw of the Oasis Surgery. That's going to be online next turn after the quest is complete here at the end of this turn for Dabs.
Just kind of like playing that Steel Beetle again.
Yeah, it's either that or Rising Winds, and I don't see any real reason to give any more information away than what you already have provided.
I mean, you probably want... I mean, next turn, you're definitely... You have board clear with Starfall and Oasis, so the face damage is going to stink, but unless he's thinking Dabs is thinking Starfall now, delay the quest for a turn.
No, I don't think there's any world where you want to be delaying. You know, the deck lives and dies on whether or not you can get that quest going, and there's really no real reason to delay that another turn, I believe.
In the previous, there was in the combo priest meta, Druid would oftentimes kind of delay the quest just to continue to clear off minions. So this is such an aggressive minion. I could kind of see wanting to delay maybe just a single turn, in order to make sure you don't take 8 to face. But with you have a bunch of heal and armor, and you're in a hidden Oasis and Steel Beetles and Starfalls. In a pretty good spot actually. So
definitely. And Baroness might be the pick here.
Yep.
I don't know exactly how useful the battle cry will be, but it is just a chunky boy. He's gonna go ahead and take the big old whelp. Pretty decent size in its own right, and it does have a battle cry that's a little bit more immediately useful. Though this is the first game we've seen Markshire not really running out of options in his hand by this stage of the game. Yeah,
and I think you just go ahead and drop your Oasis Surger.
Yeah, I don't see any real reason not to.
The other option was Rising Winds and Bees, maybe, but that wouldn't give you a full clear. I like the full clear. Starfall was an option, but why use it on minions you can clear with your rushing?
Yeah, I think Starfall is far too aggressive for where we're at. I think he's feeling fine. 25 health right now, going in turn 7. It seems like he's still in fairly decent control. Hidden Oasis in hand. Now the Oasis Surger is active for the Floop, so he can even follow up the next turn with that if he would like.
Yep, all the good stuff. But so a full hand, and you know, it's not rogue with a full hand, but I mean, yeah, it's might be a full sweep of the hunter. It's definitely too early for that, but man, not going face at all and just clearing off a kind of a cheeky minion.
And here comes that second Oasis Surger to clear off the 6/5. I would imagine here.
Yeah, or Wrath and Bees and Rising Winds is also good things, and it gives you a whole bunch of bull. I don't. Is there not playing hounds, right? So there's no reason to fear going wide. Yeah. So
no fear there. I guess you can always Rising Winds first and see what you get.
Yeah.
Okay, why not?
Play that one, I guess.
Yep.
There you go.
That's why we draw at the beginning of the turn whenever you possibly can.
That's how that works.
Markshire picks up second Corrosive Breath. He does have a lot of burst. Unfortunately for him,
burst in hand, right?
Dabs is not really in range of that burst at the moment.
And the hard part is you have the Trino Jackson, right? And how many are we running? 1 or 2 double hidden Oasis. So
oh yeah,
you have to do it 3 or 4 times. That's hard to do sometimes.
And now we're back to the spot we were before, where
go.
You can go ahead and floop Oasis Surger if you would like, if you're Dabs. Nope, Wrath is just fine. And then Bees.
Wrath, Bees, and Power of the Wild.
Yeah.
One bee dies, then you get to buff the other ones. Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yep, why not? Could make a case for the Crystal Merchant here, draw a card, and then follow up with Power of the Wild next turn. Because again, in what situation does this entire board die? There's no wide AoE or anything for Markshire. So yeah, I actually like that a lot more. Get yourself the draw, and then save that Power of the Wild for next turn when it can get even more value than it has now.
Yep. Yeah. Really good spot for Dabs here. That Dragomoth Scorcher, is that playable this turn?
Sure is. Sure is.
I don't like the Starfall yet. I think maybe just Rising Winds to see where you go, where you get. Yeah.
That's what we're gonna do here. Floop's Glorious
There we go.
Floop.
Got the Floop too.
Not the turn for that, most likely. At least not right here. Probably want to pair that up with Starfall later, but no, he's gonna opt to.
Or Bees. It's really good with
Bees.
I think we used it on the copy of Bees.
Was that a one of in the deck? I think you're right.
I'm looking right now. Oh nope, double copy of Bees. So, can't pair that with Bees though. I mean, I don't know how greedy you want to get with it. To be completely honest, I suppose anything you can get out of it's gonna be good. So.
Markshire just digging and digging, trying to find any way he can get enough damage. But Dabs is in pretty solid control right here. That Nubisat Defender is only going to increase that control. We could see a Hidden Oasis if he really wants to right here. We could even see just Ysera after he clears the board.
Yep.
I mean, you might not even want to clear the board.
You could just Wrath and... I mean...
I think it's very possible.
Maybe it's just Ysera. I think I kind of like Ysera and then...
Clear the 5/4, send the rest of the face.
Yep.
Oh no!
Oh, we're gonna get
the
Okay,
floops.
we're gonna kill some minions. Okay.
That is gonna go ahead and give him 5 more mana.
Yes.
Oh, he's gonna play second Ysera. That is, yeah. I guess if you weren't gonna use the floop on the Oasis Surger, which is the general target of it, Ysera is pretty good too. And now 14 Dream Portals in a 27 card deck.
It's really, really good.
Yeah,
it's a little greedy, but
I think you can afford to be greedy right now. You've got draw in your hand. You've got Hidden Oasis in your hand. If he pulls a Nourish,
which he hasn't, by the way, yet. Right?
2 Nourishes in the deck. Markshire just throws down what he's got.
Yeah.
We're
And
gonna
now
start
you
with the
get to
dream
hit
portal.
Oasis Anubiseth and get a free dragon, at least one.
Ah!
What?
Zeraku!
Oh, this went really well.
Oh my god! Oh no!
Yeah, and
He can
I
wrath.
mean-
He can draw. He can draw again. Does he want to go for another portal? Markshire, just the well played right now, knows that this is.
yeah,
You know what?
This game's over.
He doesn't even feel like playing long enough to get credit for a quest. He's just gonna go ahead and concede
Nope.
right now and say, you know what, Anfal, bitbeaker, the stage is yours, and Dabs, the win is yours tonight, 3-1. So that's going to go ahead and bring this back to 9-6. A.E.O.N still leads, but very much alive for the Menagerie now.
Yes. It was a big win, and it was a good win. It kept them in the series, and not just you know, it was you know, a solid, decisive win. It wasn't a sweep, but I mean, didn't concede a lot of points to A.E.O.N. That's a really good spot to be. So
Yeah, without a doubt.
Been hot for sure. So
yeah, Menagerie wanted that to stay in the hunt, in the playoff hunt in pro, and they got what they needed right there. And I guess if you're Markshire, you go back to the drawing board and say, I don't know if Hunter is the right choice for me, because it, you know, I will say it didn't even really get particularly close in any of those 3 games.
And you know that, and that's just, and I feel like it was favored in some of them as well. It should have been closer than it was. I don't know if I really buy the statistics on that Druid Dragon Hunter matchup, because that feels really good to me, just because of the heal that you have. But if you draw incorrectly, I mean, Dragon Hunter just gets you, and it was a really good draw by Dabs at the beginning. So
yeah,
but
strong
that
hands
Hunter,
for sure.
That's some feel bad for sure, because you don't, when you're playing one of the best decks in the game, you don't want to see it get swept. So.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you look at it and you say, man, the statistics favor this. They say I should win with this, and then I just went out and lost 3 games with it. What am I doing wrong? And you know, sometimes you're doing nothing wrong. Sometimes the deck just doesn't work for you. I don't think that was the case there. I think there were alternate lines that could have been taken that could have resulted in maybe some harder decisions there for Dabs. But yeah, big win for. I think Dabs moves to 3-0 now. He joined the middle of the season and is looking pretty good so far.
3-0. 3-0.
So we are letting our next participants, Anfal and bitbeaker, know that they are good to go ahead and set up for the ban. So we'll just keep this train rolling here while I change the whole game over, because you know what? That was Conquest. This is Last Hero Standing. Different game. So Dana, why don't you talk to us and our viewers, of course, for anybody who might be a little bit unfamiliar with how Last Hero Standing works.
Well, just took a bite of chicken, so that's good.
Oh, I'm sorry, I threw it over to you at the worst possible time.
All good. I was like, I have a chance to get a little bit of dinner in me. No, so completely different format. Closed deck list. Last Hero Standing. You play with a deck until you lose with it. So the point of Last Hero Standing is to beat your opponent's decks, all 3 of them, and then for them not to kill any of your decks. So if you win 3 times in a row with Rogue, you won the match. So you're really looking, it's a much more, so where Conquest is much more of like a best decks format. There's a lot of like back and forth play with Last Hero Standing. So oftentimes, at least in my experience with Last Hero Standing, it's like, it feels like it's either 3-0 or it's a 3-2 match. It's like either back and forth and you're just kind of countering each other, or just one of you brought the best deck, you lost the mirror, and then they crush you with it. So
yeah, I think game 1 is really the pivotal point in the series, because a lot of people will try to play that deck that they think can go ahead and sweep, and you know, you might either you might both do that, and then if your deck that gets crushed, you have no answers the rest of the way. So game 1 always very, very interesting to see what the game plan is out of the players. And of course, to see what the ban strategy is out of the players, because this is closed deck list. They won't know what's going to be played until they start up.
Yeah, so just looking for Anfal here, looking for the matchups. Sorry.
So it is Anfal's got Hunter, Paladin, Priest, and Warrior. bitbeaker's got Druid, Hunter, Priest, and Rogue. So a nice little diverse range of classes there, an array, if you will. And I did get the bans in here, so I'm going to go ahead and get those up on screen here for you guys momentarily.
I did play Anfal last week, and we did have a Paladin mirror, and he did sweep me 3-0.
Well, we won't be seeing his Paladin tonight, I can tell you that much, because that is what is banned.
Yeah. Yeah, we both Anfal had the same plan last week, and it went well for Anfal and not so great for me. So that's how it goes. Sometimes you should lose the best deck, and that's just because Mech Paladin can go off, just go absolutely off.
It certainly can. I apologize as I'm just getting everything set up here band-wise so you guys get the correct info on the screen.
And this, I don't know, bitbeaker. Are they new to?
Actually, quite the opposite. He is a Hall of Famer in THL who has been gone for quite some time and has been just jumping back in, subbing the last few weeks, or maybe even just this week. I know he was intending to sub in Legacy as well, but ended up with a DQ win for whatever reason. I don't remember off the top of my head. So this will be his first action back.
I imagine it was fear, right? I mean,
it could have been fear. They could see that. They could see that little Hall of Fame next to the name and say, you know what, I'm not messing with that today. I'm just gonna go ahead and just take that 03 and keep my pride. I guess I don't know. But as mentioned, Anfal will not get to play Paladin. Bitbeaker will not get to play Priest, and that I think that's interesting. Anfal might lead off with his Priest there, because Res Priest, if it's that, could be pretty good against this lineup.
Yeah, I think you're probably fine. Your 2 sweep decks, Priest and Paladin. So Warrior can as well. So.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean the way I kind of, and this is how I kind of plan out my last hero standing, is I try to bring 2 sweep decks and 2 counter decks. With assuming that one of my sweep decks will be banned. It's kind of how I usually plan. Now, I'm not having a great season in Hero, so I could be doing it way wrong, but. That's kind of how I start, at least. My week prep is kind of like, okay, what do I think can sweep, and what do I think can, what am I trying to counter? What are they going to bring that I need to counter? So,
well, we are going to get these guys going and see what their strategy is in real time here. You've got them both on your friends list ready to go, is that right?
I do.
Yep, all right, so Anfal will be on the bottom, bitbeaker will be on the top. And let's see here as we move into game 1. Last year standing, NPH leads this series 6-4 right now, so Anfal hoping to get NAS-Dormu back in it. It's going to be a Hunter Mirror.
Oh boy, here we go. Let me get
I tell you what, a Hunter will win this game.
Yes,
we will see a Hunter win tonight. Guaranteed, and it's gonna be the dragon, the same one we just had Markshire playing, or at least a similar construction for bitbeaker. And Anfal, I see Corrosive Breath in hand with a Phase Stalker as well, so that's probably gonna be the same. So we're gonna see a dragon Hunter Mirror.
Yep. And you know, each week I prep for. I look at all 4 Hunter decks. I think, okay, are they gonna bring Quest? They're probably not gonna bring Phase because it's pretty poor in this meta. Dragon's really good. Highlander still has game, and it's just at this point it kind of seems like, you know, just kind of to plan for. Oh, I don't know. Sorry if I'm cracking up a little bit. I'm not sure why my mic is doing that. It maybe might be knocking my microphone a little bit or something. So, Dragon Hunter is just seems to be kind of the far and away most popular deck here. And
not surprising.
THL, yeah. And I like the dropping the 2/3 just to contest board.
Yeah, it's one of those priority minions that you definitely want to remove. So it's going to force bitbeaker to maybe play a little bit off the line that he would otherwise want to. Though we see his hand is pretty heavy at the moment, which is going to be fine once and if he gets into turn 4 and 5 in good shape. But Anfal has got the chance to try and at least. Get things moving here. He's got the Corrosive Breath. He's going to go ahead and drop that, get the second Blazing Battle Mage on the field, and now bitbeaker's got to find an answer here in this draw, and he does. And he does. Stormhammer will clear that off just fine.
Yep.
But effectively that's like getting home with it one time.
Oh, there you go. That's a top deck right there.
Yeah, you want to see that.
Snap that one.
Yeah, no immediate answer for that one if you're bitbeaker, because he can't target it directly with anything like Corrosive Breath. I guess like the second scale rider, if he can draw that, not to try and caster curse Anfal in any way, but it's a possibility. I like the faming this turn because you've got Stormhammer plus Fairy Dragon next turn, or Big Ol' Whelp next turn if the situation suits it.
Yep. And then the only option they really, bitbeaker really has is just to follow suit or to drop their mech, but I don't think you'd ever want to do that. So.
No, I don't think you want to hang that out to dry here, knowing it would just immediately die to the Feywing. But, ooh, Frenzied Feywing. I keep calling it a Feywing. It's a Fellwing. Evasive Feywing, Frenzied Fellwing. Man, Blizzard's really trying to tongue-tie casters, I think, is their game plan.
It's more fun that way, I think, is the thought process.
So let's see here. We can go ahead. I think you're probably going to clear the 5-4, or maybe you just go ahead and swing in with the 5-4 and say, you know what, I've got the damage advantage right now. I can go ahead and drop a Fairy Dragon and a Frenzied Fellwing if I really want to.
Kind of like that as well. Like,
I think so.
Yep.
Or go ahead and hit Hero Power if you'd rather do that too.
I think I like going wide. Yeah.
Wide it is.
Yep. And then
now,
just to kill minions, so he has to really make the trade.
Rottnest Drake is going to full clear this board because you can go ahead and put your Feywing into the 3-2, Hammer into the 3-3, and then you just use the Rottnest to clear the 5-4. So it is kind of going to backfire a little bit for Anfal, but he's got big ol' Whelp, give him a little bit more juice, and he still does have a damage advantage, and he's going to have an even bigger one here after bitbeaker goes ahead and clears off that Frenzied Fellwing.
But now I'd say bitbeaker definitely in the right spot. And I was thinking that was the other dragon because they all look the same to me and it was upside down. That tracking was helpful though.
That's a great pickup. I think, yeah, you want to play both of these here. Yeah, tracking probably first for the flexibility. And Leroy.
Wow.
That's the card. That's the card you want because you're winning this game next turn if you play Leroy.
Yeah, there's no way they can stop you.
Yeah, your game plan now is I'm not playing the Whelp. I'm just going to hit you in the face in Hero Power.
In Hero Power, yep. Right?
I don't know, maybe he's slow rolling here to make it think it's not an obvious pull of the Leroy. And I guess, from a gamesmanship perspective, I can see that. This does put you off the line, though, if you play the Whelp.
Maybe just thinking it through. Count?
Yeah.
All right, we got the count. There we go. All right.
Yep, he realized it. He knows, hey, there's no taunts. I'm playing against a no-taunt deck.
Yeah, there's this one's over, and 3 of the 4 people involved know it.
And Dragonbane will come down. bitbeaker obviously going to play it out. He has no idea what's about to happen to him.
I would
bad
news.
news.
That slow roll.
I mean, and honestly, that could be a thought to try and throw your opponent off of thinking, I didn't snap pick anything here, but either way, there was nothing in that deck that was going to stop that Leroy from hitting face. So a quick 1-0, and we just see the Dragon Hunter work like it's actually supposed to. And well, we also saw it not work like it was supposed to because it lost as well. So.
In this match, a Hunter was going to lose.
And we're going to get to see Hunter again because it being last year standing, Anfal has to play that Hunter one more time.
Yep. At least one more time. If Anfal had their druthers, probably thinking, I'd like to play it 3 more times or 2 more times.
Ideally, he would like to just go ahead and win 3 straight Hunter games. Sure, why not? And we're going to see a Druid get queued into the Hunter. And it's a Quest Druid.
Yep. So we'll see. I'll be curious to see how this one plays out since it felt so dominant last match, right?
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, this is a situation where you're the aggressor. As Anfal, you're the beatdown. You need to get in there quick. Rottnest Drake's an interesting keep, I think. Though he gets a little bit lucky with the Phase Stalker. I think you can go ahead and coin that out here and then just Hero Power the next turn and start thinning that deck a little bit.
Yeah, that's what you have to do, right? Otherwise, and not the hand that you want if you are a bitbeaker.
But Innervate was nice to pick up if you're not on the coin.
Yes. But Steel Beetle is not active, still not active. Passing.
And this is interesting. You're going to get the Frenzied Fellwing down, and you're going to go ahead and get your secret out of your deck. What was it? It's Freezing Trap. So he's got the Snake Trap in hand. These decks usually don't run more than maybe 3 secrets, so you might see like an Explosive Trap in there. But the Steel Beetle, that's online now.
Yep, and I think most of them are playing.
Most are playing a 2-secret lineup, either Snake and Freezing or Snake and Explosive, something along those lines, depending on how aggressive you want to get with it and what you think you might be playing against. So we see he doesn't bother hero powering here, tells me that there's probably not another secret in the deck.
Yep. Just the 2, which always feels annoying to me because I inevitably always drop. So...
Yeah, you'd much rather that Snake Trap come out via the Phase Stalker than be drawn, but you know, that's where we are now, and the quest is complete for bitbeaker on turn 4, as is tradition.
But drew the wrong half of their deck, it looks like. So
yeah, interesting. A Phaeorus. I haven't seen a Phaeorus this meta in a Quest Druid. I mean, I guess I haven't played against a ton of Quest Druids myself, but I would think
this would be the other. This would be the other one without the not Floop variant. So it's double Innervate. So yeah, so this one plays double Innervate and Phaeorus. The other one plays Gloop. Gloop's Glorious Gloop.
Now I find it interesting here, like allowing him to draw another card here with the Crystal Merchant. You know what? I guess it's an option, but Anfal is going to get some bad news here. His first towel is the top deck, and now he's just another turn further away. Ooh, the Freezing Trap actually getting a little bit of play here.
Yeah.
That's actually very good for Anfal, and I guess maybe you would consider that to be a misplay for bitbeaker there.
Yeah, I don't know that I would have played it that way.
Double Rotnest Drake in hand too. That could just be the play the next 2 turns. That's a lot of pressure for Anfal. And, you know, bitbeaker's got that Oasis Surger, but it's not going to be able to clear that Rotnest Drake. It's not going to be able to clear the whole board, even if it does clear the Rotnest Drake.
Yeah, but then I imagine, it's that or Trino, so it's Hidden Oasis, right? But that's just heal 12, 6/6 dies next turn.
Yeah, if he does that, then nothing really changes. You're going to see second Rotnest Drake, and that's exactly what it is here. And Leroy is drawn again! Well, I should say it was drawn this time. It was tracking last time. But either way, the fact of the matter is it's now in Anfal's hand for a second time. And it represents basically a fireball to the face.
Yeah. And now there used to be a card that would make a bunch of 1/5 taunts as wide as your board is. I don't think Druid has access to that anymore.
Card. Whew, that one's a flashback.
Drawing first, which is obvious, the play. And then clearing up the 6/5s with Oasis Surger. And then next to the swipe. So this isn't. Is it over still? It's right.
2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's exactly lethal. Anfal knows what he's about, and he's about a Leroy to the face for a second straight game.
Which is, you're playing Leroy correctly, right?
Yeah.
You hold on to Leroy for 1 turn, maybe 2, and then you just win.
Hall of Fame, by the way? Should it be Hall of Fame?
Leroy, my thing with Leroy Jackson is it really makes like aggressive lineups tick, right? I just don't know how you play like consistently get like all classes or many classes to play kind of more aggressive tempo-based lineups without Leroy Jackson. Because it's burn, which most classes don't have access to.
Absolutely.
So I don't know that you can Hall of Fame Leroy Jackson without trying to like, every year or 2, print something to kind of sit in its place. I kind of feel like it's in a special spot where like I don't know how you get rid of it, but they got rid of Ragnaros, and Ragnaros is the same thing for mid-range decks, and we've seen mid-range decks struggle since Ragnaros has rotated. So, I don't know.
What I hear you saying is that it's time to craft that golden Leroy if you've been holding it.
I honestly hope not, because I feel like the game will get just really slow then at that point, because
Reasonable.
You couldn't kill your opponent fast enough if you don't have access to that burn. And then I think you see a lot of heal, and then the control kind of really take over to a certain extent, which I don't think anybody wants. So, but yeah, Edwin though. Now, if you want to talk about Hall of Faming a card, There's a card where if you were in my Discord earlier today, or in the Squelch Discord earlier today, you would have saw a nice little meltdown on my behalf after I lost 2 games in a row, one to an 8-8 Edwin, one to a 12-12 Edwin. I was just like, just get this card out of here.
It is one of those cards that feels really bad if you're playing a deck that has literally no counterplay against it. And as most decks tend to not have anything that they can do about, a big ol' Edwin on turn 3. But I do find interesting that bitbeaker had the backstab, had the Edwin in hand, and opted to not utilize it to pump that Edwin, knowing that he really didn't have a whole lot of choices here. And he saps to not allow the Phase Stalker to get any value immediately. But I don't know. I think that's a little bit of an aggressive use of his resources there.
The backstab's already out, right?
Yeah, backstab was used to clear off the sharpshooter, which again,
yes,
interesting because it's not really that much of a threat to your hand right now. You don't have anything that you're playing that a sharpshooter is going to just clear off, unless you intended to play your Edwin on 3. Which, why would you do that? And I see no reason not to have a third Rot Nest Drake in your deck.
Oh, you might just see a Leroy come down this turn, but you can't with this minion on board, so never mind. Pretend I didn't say that.
Yeah, you would never want to do that unless you could also clear this minion, and even if you did, Rot Nest Drake will banish it to the Shadow Realm immediately.
Yep.
He could eviscerate it now. Oh, I think he was probably looking for the 2 damage lackey, in which case, yeah, you absolutely then play Edwin and get the bad news, but Evasive Worm might be the choice here for bitbeaker.
I think I like Evasive Worm. It's such a good minion. It's such a sneaky, sneaky good minion.
Lines up perfect against Rot Nest Drake in this matchup.
Yep.
And second Primordial Explorer for Anfal. He has a couple choices here now. I think I like getting rid of the 1/1. I do. Yeah, I think it's coin time.
Get the Phase Stalker out as well. Yep. I like that play.
Yeah, knowing that you're already at the top curve of your deck, there's not really many other uses for the coin. You might deep late in the game want to combo with another minion, but I think it's just perfectly fine to go ahead and get 2 things on board.
Yep. And are we gonna see Edwin, Shadow Step Edwin? That seems. I think just Boom Pistol Bullet. Yeah. Boom Pistol Bullet would have shut down the Rot Nest Drake. I don't know why you would put it in your deck if you're not gonna just play it on 5.
Yeah, I agree completely, and now Anfal's got just absolutely the perfect answer here. And this is a very, very poor position for bitbeaker. He'll have the Evasive Worm to go ahead and counter the 6/5, and then we're just going to see Rot Nest Drake version 2.0 alongside a Blazing Battle Mage here.
Yep, and play the correct Rot Nest, play the Drakes in the correct order so you didn't know it was the Discover, I think, right?
Yep, no, he did correctly. Yep. And he's got both Stormhammers in hand too, so he can start pounding away. Not a lot of resources in bitbeaker's hand right now, and only 1 Invoke thus far. And maybe he's thinking here, do I just go ahead and use the Scale Rider to clear the 5/3 Stormhammer? Maybe I can go ahead and start pounding base damage. Nope, Rot Nest Drake is a big boy too. I like that move, and now this is looking pretty scary for bitbeaker.
Yeah, and then there's all the options in the world next turn, really.
Yeah, Shield of Galakron is the obvious choice for bitbeaker. Good top deck in this case. And it's a Rush Lackey. That's not bad.
So clears off the Drake. Clears off the Drake. Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, that's...
I don't know that I would have done that.
Yeah, he's trying to value trade there, but I don't think that's the right move, unfortunately, in this case.
I think you take 3 to face here, and I think you just... Yeah.
Yep, 3 to face.
And with the Golden Flex, good decision there, Anfal. I definitely approve of that. Yep.
And Phase Stalker is going to get actual value here, as we've seen no secrets drawn. So what will it be?
I do
Snake
like
trap.
okay, good. The trade of the clear off the Lackey.
Yep, give him no option for the Togwaggle, and now there's...
This is over.
Well, Bone Wraith can come down, but is that enough?
I mean, the nice part about Bone Wraith is it gives Anfal a chance to draw Leroy for exact lethal again. Not exactly, but for lethal again.
Could we see a 3-game Leroy finisher? I mean, it's probably happened before. I mean, this has to be Bone Wraith. There's just no way around.
Yep. And I think you have to clear off the. I don't think it matters.
I don't think it matters either, but I do agree that you have to clear off the 2-1 if you can.
Because otherwise you're. Yeah. I mean, I could count it out, but I just really don't feel like it.
No, because if he leaves it up, you 6-5 into the 2-5, you 2-1 into the remaining Reborn, and then it's exactly 8 damage with what's on board plus your hero power. The game is over there. We won't get to see the third Leroy, and that is the antithesis of what we saw in Series 1, where it was a 4-game series that went about an hour. That was a 3-game series that went 25 minutes.
Yeah, sometimes you play Dragon Hunter, and it just kills your opponents really fast.
So I think what we've seen here, and I say this only having, a 7-game sample size, is that Hunter in Conquest, bad. Dragon Hunter in LHS, very good. But then again, the Dragon Hunter lost in LHS as well in Game 1. I mean, somebody had to lose it. And unfortunately, in this case, for bitbeaker, it was him.
Yeah, and I think... Who knows? I don't know. I think it won 3 straight for the same exact reason you bring it in a Conquest lineup. I'm actually a little bit surprised with the Dragon Hunter bring, because I feel like Quest Hunter gives you a little bit more play against decks like Highlander Paladin. So you can like counter with your Hunter if you decide to bring Quest Hunter. But Quest Hunter is one of those decks where if you don't have a ton of practice with it, you're gonna play it wrong because the math involved is just.
Yeah, there are some weird like counter lethals if you're not prepared for for that type of stuff with Unleash the Hounds and whatnot. And that happened so quick. I should mention that is NAS-Dormu now taking the lead 8-6 over Team NoProsHere with that win. So, actually, incorrect. Saku, looking at it, Saku swept Electabuzz earlier. So actually, before that game, NAS-Dormu was up 8-6, and now that's going to make it 12-6. And the week is actually over. NAS-Dormu has won with yours truly still to play actually tomorrow night on stream. So I will be back. It is a good feeling. It is a great feeling.
So you could do what I did tonight when I went into our match with a win, and I was like, you know what I'm bringing? I'm bringing mid-range Dragon Paladin. We'll just see what happens. And what happens is you lose, but you get to play mid-range Dragon Paladin, which is a ton of fun.
There are definitely advantages to both sides, and your team Inoyo team is the only other team in Hero that has finished their week at 15-13 win over Teen Hearth Legends. A big week for you guys there, so congratulations.
Thank you.
And since we talked about Pro earlier, there's a big match in Pro that's already been somewhat decided. Taste the Rainbow over Beard Boys 16-5. With one match left to go. That is 2 in a row for Beard Boys, though this one was much more resounding than last week. So Beard Boys not going to be the number 1 team this week because FTL's already got 8 points. They're going to pass them most likely. A.E.O.N, even with Markshire falling tonight, has 9 points at the moment. So it's 9-7 A.E.O.N, and they will likely pass the Beard Boys as well. So big shakeup in Pro this week, and Hero possibly as well. So
I'll go ahead and predict that the Beard Boys will not be a legendary team come Tuesday.
Yes.
THL POW drops.
Yeah, please go ahead and plug the podcast. I'm loving that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so Mad at Arms every Tuesday, fairly consistently, except for this last week. Matt at Arms and I put together a Power Rankings podcast. It's about 20 minutes in length, and we review every match in every series and go over, where they're at, what happened last week, what happened the previous week, and where they stand against other teams. It's been an absolute ton of fun, and not sure we're gonna go with it here with Pro kind of continuing, but everything else kind of ending pretty soon. Not a whole lot of reason for a Power Rankings podcast during a playoff, so we might just kind of recap some playoff stuff going forward. But it's been an absolute blast, and thanks everybody we got a lot of great feedback early on that really kind of helped us kind of figure out what we wanted to do with the podcast, because the first couple of weeks were a little they were good, but I think we kind of got to something pretty solid here towards the end. So
yeah, if anybody hasn't checked it out yet, I absolutely 100% recommend it. As you mentioned, it's a 20 to 30 minutes each week, so it's not a humongous time investment for what I feel is worth every minute of your listen. So definitely thank you to you and Matt at Arms for doing that every week. It's fantastic content and something new that THL can really take pride in. So check it out. It's always on the homepage of our website, teamhearthlegends.com, and also up on, I believe you have it on iTunes, Spotify as well.
Yeah, I think the only major like podcast thingamajig we don't have it up on yet is I don't think it's on Google Play yet, because Google uses like robots to look for podcasts, and it's the only way that you get into the Google is if a robot finds your podcast.
Gotcha.
So I don't think we got that email yet saying that Google has found us yet. So, but I think everything else, there's some oddballs out there. Like, so if you go and like you say, oh, you're not on, anything other than Anchor or Google, then we can get onto that platform, no problem. Anchor only puts Anchor podcasts on it, and then Google uses their robots. So, anything else is pretty simple submission. So yeah, if you find something that we're not on, you can always tweet at me or Matt at Arms, Dino Play, or at Matt at Arms, or just in Discord, just hit us up with a DM or something. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for doing that, and thank you again for coming out tonight and casting. It was very enjoyable, and would hopefully we can get that to be a more regular thing here on Saturdays.
For sure, I had a ton of fun. This was a lot of fun. Some real fun matchups, and just like kind of opposite. The things went kind of the exact opposite way, which made for a lot of like fun little conversations. So I had a really good time.
Well, we're glad that you were here. I'm glad that everyone was able to join us and watch two entertaining series. So we will, of course, be back next Saturday with another edition of Salty Saturday. And as you might remember, we do tend to stream Sunday nights as well. We have two matches tomorrow evening for you. I am going to look those up right now because off the top of my head, I only remember one of those matches, and that's because it involves myself. But the first match is Skittles of Team NoProsHere versus yours truly of NAS-Dormu. That's at 8 p.m. That'll be Hero. And then Ron Mexico versus Dragon Rider, which I guarantee you is two way better players than me. So you should watch that one. So watch me and Skittles, because Skittles is cool, and we might as well be the palate cleanser for the good players coming on at 9 p.m. in Legacy Gold. So come check that out tomorrow night. And thanks for watching us. Spend an hour and a half with us on your Saturday, and hope to see you next week. Have a great evening.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, thank you.